Hello, fight fans. Seattle Mike here. Fights with friends. Everybody, please hit that like button, or I will tell your babysitter to drop your kids off over at Conor McGregor's house with a bottle of Proper 12. Make sure you're subscribed if you like boxing, mixed martial arts, anything fighting, and don't forget to ring that bell so you're notified whenever we drop a new video or go live, which is most Saturdays for most big events. This Saturday is going to be one of the few weeks that I won't be going live, so I thought, hey, let's do some breakdown videos. We haven't done that in a while. I want to break down two fights from this week's UFC card, and then keep an eye out later in the week. We dropping a prediction video for Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley with a special guest on that video. First, I want to break down Kevin Lee versus Daniel Rodriguez. Let's get into that one. Kevin Lee, one of the most gifted fighters maybe in the history of the UFC, athletic and also athletic-wise, and also one of the most inconsistent. I mean, this guy seems like he can, defeat or lose to any fighter on any given night. His last loss was to Charles Oliveira, who is the current champion. And that's one thing I will say is he is always fighting big names. If you go back to April of 2018, he's got a win over Edson Barboza. June of the year before, he defeated Michael Chiesa. That same year, he defeated Francisco Trinaldo. But then he loses to guys like Al Quinta in December of 2018. Lost to Rafael Dos Anjos, got choked out May of 2019. Comes back and I think surprises a lot of people. Knocks out Gregor Gillespie in the first round of November of 19. And then, like I said, his last fight was against Charles Oliveira in March of last year. Been off for over a year. He's had a little time with TriStar now. And he's working, of course, with George St. Pierre's old team. And I think that should be a great fit for him. Daniel Rodriguez, this guy is tough as freaking nails, guys. 15-2. Came into the UFC with the submission guillotine win over Tim Means. I still think that is his biggest win, even though he's got a win over Mike Perry. Since the dude came into the UFC in February 15th of just last year, he has been super active. 6 fights, 5-1 in the UFC. His one loss was close. A lot of people thought he won that fight against Nicholas Dalby. I rewatched it again today. I still think Nicholas Dalby won it. And from watching that, I kind of started to put together a blueprint of a path to victory for Kevin Lee. Daniel Rodriguez was very open to leg kicks. I mean, I don't think he checked or blocked one leg kick in that fight. He wasn't able to get one takedown, on a guy that we kind of thought he might be able to take down. And he was completely susceptible to body kicks and head kicks, which Kevin Lee has great kicks. He also has great wrestling. I think Kevin Lee is going to out-wrestle Nicholas Dalby. I think he's going to be more technical. One of the things that Daniel Rodriguez, I think he has more power. This guy is a brawler. He wants to fight with you in a phone booth. If he can get Kevin Lee to his ego and get Kevin Lee to trade with him, I think Daniel Rodriguez can knock him out. But like I said about that Gregor Gillespie fight, it was a head kick knockout. Daniel Rodriguez has shown he's not shown an answer yet for the kicking game. What he's shown is he's absolutely terrible at defending kicks from what we've seen so far. So I have to go with Kevin Lee in this one. I think either he out-wrestles him to a unanimous decision or the kicks get to him and he finishes. Rodriguez probably in the third round, but Kevin Lee coming into this just a slight underdog, in my opinion. That's a good bet if you're looking for bets this weekend. I got Kevin Lee all the way. Good learning experience for Daniel Rodriguez, though. I think it will be a good learning experience. Daniel Rodriguez is always, adding a few more layers to the game, and I think this is going to be a good learning experience from him if he takes it for that. Next fight up, you got Edson Barboza against Giga Chikadze. Edson Barboza, of course, he's got a lot more losses, 22-9. He's also faced some incredible tough opponents, though. This would be Chikadze's biggest win by far. By far, if he gets this. Chikadze's been fire since he entered the UFC, though. Similarly active to Daniel Rodriguez, came into the UFC September 28th, 2019, beat Brandon Davis. He's 6-0 in the UFC, coming off of a first-round knockout of Cub Swanson. Body kicks and punches, a brutal body kick to defeat Cub Swanson. Nothing against Cub Swanson, but Swanson's getting up there in years. He really is. He's had a lot of fights, and I don't think he's near the fighter that he used to be. I think he showed that in that fight. He's shown some slowing down here for a while. Hard to believe he's only 37. But in 39 fights, he has been in some wars. So, yes, a big win for Giga Chikadze. As big as a win as it would be to get a win over Edson Barboza. Not at all. Not at all, in my opinion. And Edson has faced, he's just faced a murderer's row of opponents throughout his career in the UFC. He's had some ups and downs. Recently moved to featherweight, of course, as most of you probably know, and he's looked pretty good. He's coming off back-to-back wins after that split decision loss to Dan Ige. A lot of people thought that he won that fight over Ige. That was his featherweight debut. Since then, he just got a knockout over Shane Burgos. He's, like I said, won his last two. And Dan Ige, that guy's right in there for title contention. So I think with a win, Edson Barboza probably getting right back into that top 5 or so. And I do think he gets it done. I think he's just going to be too technical and have too much experience for Giga. It would be a huge win, like I said, for Chikadze, but I just don't feel like he's on the level of an Edson Barboza yet. Being it's a 5-rounder, I'm going to say Edson Barboza takes him out in the 4th round by knockout. Let me know what you guys think, though, down there in the comments below. If you want to talk about any other fights this week, I will have a video, like I said, coming out for Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, a prediction on that. And I'll have a special guest doing the breakdown with me on that. And we are not in agreement on who we think will win. So that should make it interesting. We're going to be filming that tomorrow, and then, like I said, posting it later in the week. As always, I love you, I respect you, and I'll see your fine asses next time.